Randomizers are some of the most popular ways to shake up a favorite game and make it feel fresh after several thousand hours of playtime. But what if you went too far? Factorio is a carefully crafted experience with all of the recipes designed in such a way that they click together, so to speak. So what if everything was randomized? What if the recipes could bring grown men to tears? What if all the stats of every carefully balanced item, building, and enemy were completely randomized, so that every item crafted caused untold agony and mental anguish?
Well, nurse, how is the patient doing?
Oh, just terrible, doctor. I've given him extra Tylenol bottles, suppositories, but he's still mentally disabled.
Car you put with uranium, and that makes...
Yes, he's got one of the worst cases of brain rot I've ever seen. I heard he spent several hundred hours playing a Factorio randomizer. Poor thing probably... Oh my god, it built a rocket out of all those random items to escape. Nurse, call the Space Force.
What should I tell them, doctor?
That we've got a mentally unstable orb of meat on the loose. And that, to pray, it doesn't build a horrifically cursed base wherever it lands.
Crashing into the planet's surface, we take in the scenery and lay of the land, admiring the beautiful gear trees, natural deposits of fully smelted iron ore plates, and endless fields of stone furnace formations and iron chests. And of course, the giant pile of fish sitting in the middle of nowhere.
That is one big pile of shit.
Fish. The fish turn out to be not only our starting burnable resource at a 31% more fuel value than the regular coal would be, but are also still consumable and restore almost as much health as a legendary fish would in a regular game. They also no longer spoil and can be kept in your inventory indefinitely. To add to my declining mental state, I soon learned that in order to make burner miners, you need to smelt stone furnaces inside of stone furnaces. Thank you God, very unhinged. I also installed the True Dark mod because I was not loved enough as a child and need to inflict extraordinary amounts of agony upon myself in order to feel anything. Once I set up automation, I checked the stats of the burner mining drills and realized that they have been massively buffed, almost to the level of the electric miners in the regular base game, being almost as fast and producing significantly less pollution. Opening the research menu also brings me to the agonizing realization that all the research unlocks have been randomized, meaning that any basic items and components could end up being locked behind planet-specific sciences. But I'm not worried at all, since I am simply built different and will prevent this soft lock from happening from sheer will alone. After looking through some of the recipes to determine what resources are going to be in high demand for the entirety of the playthrough, I begin setting up a robust automated belt to automatically grill iron chests into the much needed green circuits, utilizing the power of the substantially buffed burner inserter. If only I could say the same about the yellow inserter. I decided I can no longer bear the psychic damage of this mod any longer, and invite a friend to join in this cognito hazard of a playthrough. Alright, are you in the game?
What's up?
Look at the yellow inserter.
What the fuck?
The worst thing I've ever seen.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I hate it so much. Despite the buffed rotation speed, the inserter actually performs worse than normal since it has to cover so much more ground while rotating. Thankfully, the red inserter is significantly less cringe and can be freely placed without causing migraines. But soon the biter hordes are alerted to our presence and thunder towards us with bloodlust in their eyes. What the fuck is... Oh, it's biters! It's biters! Ah, no! My Jordans! My Jordans! No, they're fucking up my Jordans! What the hell? They're so small, they're so tiny! Small biters have been completely debuffed to the point of irrelevancy, with nearly every stat, including size, getting a massive debuff. Knowing that these biter infants are in such an abusable state, I have a moral dilemma on my hands and need to consult my conscience.
Smother the biter infants in their cribs. Beat them to death with your bare hands so you can feel the warm blood on your knuckles.
Now that that's out of the way, we can safely expand our base and discover even more cringe facts about this world, like how the car's movement speed is so low that it's actually slower than walking. Golly gee willikers, there really isn't a heaven. Or how steam generators only produce less than 200 kilowatts of power each. Wow, that's less than a quarter. I want to kill myself. Or how heavy armor is the steel equivalent, meaning it only stacks to 1 and it's used in everything. Don't like that. And how all belts in the game are 25% slower. Please stop. Luckily, despite every stat and recipe seemingly rolling poorly, the randomizer deities are merciful and leave the sciences untouched, at least in terms of unlocking the science. To make red science, you first mine stone furnaces from the ground, then smelt them into burner miners. You then can turn the burner miners directly into the first ingredient, assembling machine 1s. And combining assembling machine 1s with burner miners gets you to shotguns, allowing you to make your very first, most basic science pack, red science. Not too bad, but green science is even easier. First, you mine both iron chests and iron plates, then combine both raw materials to make the rails, and voila! Logistics science complete. Wow, these science packs have been really easy to make so far. I hope military science is just as... Let's just put this in there for now. For now, our goal is to make chemical science, since this gatekeeps all the cool Nauvis technologies, and for that, we'll need oil, which luckily isn't randomized to another liquid. But to find it, I've devised an intense and thorough exploration path that will guide me right to the... After letting the radars do all the work, we check to see if any oil has been spotted, and are dismayed to find that the colors of the map icons have also been randomized. The normally jubilant bright purple of an oil patch has been replaced with another unknown color, causing me to intimately search the map for an oil patch for 20 minutes. I didn't find an oil patch after 20 minutes. I simply remembered that you can search the map in the top right for resource nodes. I truly am one of the Factorio players of all time. Once I finished collecting disability benefits from the government, I promptly stopped being mentally disabled and located the nearest oil node with the search function, only to find that the natives had built an illegal spiritual burial ground for their ancestors right on the land that I definitely called dibs on first. And to my dismay, my attempts at
Peacefully renegotiating the relocation of the pagan native population to a more advantageous location for both parties, allowing for a more synergistic and open relationship of peaceful relations to exist between two equally represented and respected factions.
We are unfortunately forced back by the newly spawned medium biters, with our weakened yellow ammo simply unable to negotiate with them fast enough. So we are forced to compromise with the aliens for now, until we can finally take advantage of the massively buffed gun turrets by using red armor-piercing ammo. So after constructing a small oil outpost, we begin focusing on unlocking all the basic base building tools that were pushed up the tech tree. First up, blue inserters locked behind electrical energy distribution, and with both an insane rotation buff and a non-cringe arm orientation. And of course, being stoic Sigma males, this had no effect on us at all.
We don't have to use these shitty arms anymore.
Have we finally made it? Oh, heaven's save, Father.
The light of heaven is real. Next, red belt automation, locked behind automated rail transportation. And also debuffed by 25%. Oh boy! Setting up hazard concrete automation for future Walmart parking lots. And noticing the power is starting to waver, so we set up solar panels to utilize that massively increased power output, but not accumulators though, because those have been massively debuffed. Working on upgrading science to make up for the fact that labs are 50% slower. Why did I decide to do this challenge? Assembling machine 2, which unlocks with the solar power research and are less than half as fast as assembling machine 1s. And also can't be launched into space, are you kidding me? Although on the bright side, we do unlock electric furnaces with the night vision research, and the electric furnaces aren't debuffed and actually have more module slots than normal. Hallelujah.
A blessing from the Lord. God be praised.
Next up is electric miners, moved all the way down to logistics 2, but you already know the drill. They're slower than the burner miners. What do I even say anymore? But their ability to fully saturate an ore patch means we can use more of them at once, so it is still worth it over the burner miners. However, these miners are extra cringe since their unload point is moved 2 tiles forward, not 3. No, that might be useful. 2. So in order to fully utilize an ore patch, I have to cook up a whole new design, which utilizes red belts and the buffed medium electric poles to weave a tapestry too beautiful for this cancerous hell world to handle.
Oh my god. That is a true configuration you made. What horrors am I looking at?
It's called hentai, and it's art. And to finish it off, we fully illuminate the base so that we can see at night. Completing all these sciences finally cleared the way for us to research armor-piercing rounds and bring country justice to those damn squatters on my land.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
You don't get to run away!
Biterpocalypse 2 Electric Boogaloo is a massive success, granting us major territorial gains in all directions. Even with big biters starting to spawn partway through the cleansing, the buffed armor-piercing ammo and turrets are simply way too powerful. The turrets are so effective, in fact, that we simply install pillboxes with solar-powered low ammo alerts to protect the borders. With the newfound peace and security our conquest has granted us, we can now fully focus on building our real Nauvis base. And the first step to that future is unlocking all the necessary parts and components to craft a fully automated bot network. And these are fucking debuffed too, are you kidding me? But before we can even think about bots, we need to get the power situation unfuckled. Since we are running still mostly off of solar power with no accumulators and some extremely inefficient steam engines, the first thought of course is switching to nuclear energy. But one fun aspect about research is being randomized is that stuff that is normally grouped together is now split up amongst several different research paths. Heat exchangers in particular are now locked behind space science, preventing us from being able to utilize nuclear or heating tower-based power until we make it to orbit. So until we get to that point,
I see space light.
once we get that set up, we upgrade to advanced oil processing and discover that the oil cracking recipes have also been randomized. One creates light oil straight from water, which is crazy, but the other is just a better basic oil processing, which is fine for making petroleum and light oil. But some of you Factorio heads might have noticed that we don't have a way to break heavy oil down into petroleum. Boy, it's a good thing every planet in the system has access to crude oil, huh? Well, that's future Orb of Meat's problem, and he's fucking cringe. With advanced oil, we are able to set up RoboPort automation and discover that both the construction and logistic areas are reduced. But for the first time in the run, this happens to align to be incredibly based. Thanks to the thick electric poles getting double the supply area, they happen to exactly match the construction area of the RoboPorts, allowing for the creation of the most beautiful electrical and RoboPort network mortal eyes have ever beheld. But as it turns out, simply placing solar panels with no accumulators and praying is not a viable power strategy, and we now need to actually charge all those RoboPorts. Luckily, after unlocking steam turbines, we notice that they aren't debuffed as heavily as the steam engines are, and thus we can actually make a steam power plant without covering the entire continent in steam engines simply by replacing the steam engines with the turbines. Of course, as always in the case of Factorio, we immediately hit a bottleneck with water consumption. How, you may ask, are we not producing enough water? Well, the offshore pumps have had their flow rate reduced by 95%. Leave it to this randomizer to debuff us back into using pre-space age offshore pump setups to keep the power on. Now, this mod has an option for making the randomness weighted to either bless you or hurt you, but we turned that shit off since we wanted a true random experience. And we still got like almost everything that matters debuffed into the ground. But thank God we got all these stack size increases. What would we ever do without stack size increases? Pretty much the only two buildings to get buffed across the board are the chemical plants, which got a decent speed and power consumption buff, and a whopping 11 module slots to work with. And the second building being the foundry, which is not only craftable on Nauvis, but has a 300% speed increase. As long as the foundry recipes are usable, then this thing might completely break the game. But we can't make those yet, so our next step is upgrading to Assembly Machine 3s, which, while they aren't buffed, are still faster than the Assembly Machine 1s now that we can put modules in them. Pretty much all Factorio players know that these things are required for the remainder of the game, and not being able to make these things efficiently would essentially like curb stomp your entire run entirely, so let's go ahead and get them automated. And let's just see here, what do we need to craft one of these bad boys?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No, 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 no! Wait. Wait!
Alright, let's get to business. While this looks scary, it isn't as bad as it initially seems, recipe-wise. Fish is just mined straight out of the ground, and personal reports are made using petroleum and fish. Both shotguns and assembly machines have very simple recipes, using only a couple of basic resources. Other than the sheer volume of items, which is mostly offset by the fact that you make 45 per craft, are the blue express splitters. Blue splitters are only made using the uranium reprocessing formula and drop at a 0.7% rate. The other 99.3% of the time, you get a combat shotgun, virtually unchanged from vanilla Factorio uranium processing, which means the only way we can get these bad boys is by finding a uranium-235 patch. Of course, despite conquering a huge chunk of land, we didn't capture any uranium within our borders. My first thought is to finally unlock the tank and take it out for a spin amongst the fighter hordes. But upon unlocking it,
So, we must venture forth into the vast and unmapped expanse of an undisclosed new land, rich, it is said, with the veins of precious minerals untouched by the engineer's hands. For what is discovery without danger? What is glory without peril? Should Providence favor us, we shall not merely return with the samples of glittering ore, but with knowledge enough to redraw the very maps of the Empire. And if we do not return well, let it be said that we fell like that of the great men of ages past, as brave men who knew no fear and gave no quarter.
Eventually, we do locate the uranium nestled snugly between two separate biter bases. I know from my encounters with the biters on the journey that the biter bases themselves are now way too strong to kill with a gun turret spam, thanks to the large biters and spitters that now spawn. So I construct a small mining base with green modules to keep the pollution out of the filthy biters' mouths, and shortly after, uranium is flowing to the processors at last. It's also about time we upgrade the defenses, since our pollution cloud has finally eclipsed our borders. We need to thicken the walls around the turrets, because, fun fact, the biter in-game size actually has an effect on gameplay. The big biters are so large that their model can overlap with a layer of walls to directly attack the turrets. So thickening the walls or giving them a buffer zone is required. It's also a good time to address the question that you're no doubt asking: why do we still have gun turrets? Well, dear viewer, flamethrowers are now unlocked in the Tesla turret science, and Tesla turrets are now unlocked all the way on Gleba. The lasers have such a huge power draw per shot that they literally cannot fire, so we will have to utilize the gun turrets to automatically defend the base for the foreseeable future. Alright gamers, the base is looking
Like, obviously you got, I mean, like, this is food from, like, this is literally 2 days worth of food.
urban, so we need to shape this place up in order to make it to space. And nothing shapes things up like an 80s style montage. Setting up concrete roads for speedy access to the whole base. Saturating all of our captured ore patches with miners. Setting up automation for the space parts. Connecting our mall to the logistic network. Finally setting up military science. What? How are the biters attacking already? Making some foundries on Nauvis. God, the construction bots are so slow. Assembly machine 3's crafting at last. Finally upgrading to power armor and filling that bad boy with legs, even if the legs do suck now. New furnace stack setup now with significantly less cringe. It's fine, this isn't going to be a reoccurring problem, it's fine. Automating blue belts, installing oil wells in our captured territory. And don't worry, these are all minus speed as well, by the way. So oil production is really damn freaking slow. Smelting iron chests into green chips. Turning green chips into yellow inserters and power poles. Smelting power poles into heavy armor. Making all that into this stuff. Making heavy armor shotguns and assembling machines into logistic spots. These are very important ingredients in the endgame. And thank God they are so fast I would have killed myself if the Logi bots were all slow during this run. Quality Module 2s, baby. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Turning green chips into a fuck ton of yellow inserters. Finding like 10,000 recyclers in your inventory and then realizing it's because wood decays into recyclers. Making labs and constant combinators into fluid wagons. Then combining those wagons with shotguns and logistic bots to make space platforms. Please shut up. Please, I beg you, shut up. Please. Making solar panels, heavy armor, and chemical plants into a metric fuck ton of personal batteries. Setting up new science automation with logistic bots. Setting up all of the final rocket ingredients, and launching our first space platform. Space is where we find out if this run lives or dies, since the potential for soft locking you out of being able to automate space travel is ever present. However, in one of the few strokes of luck we get in this randomizer, space science turns out to be completely craftable with only carbonic and metallic asteroids needed to craft their materials. Metallic asteroids can be crafted into 2 of the required materials, while you only need a carbonic asteroid to make the 3rd, with the only use of oxide asteroids being that you can convert them into water. Stack sizes are also left completely randomized, making it significantly easier to utilize asteroid collectors as storage containers. And soon, we have space science blessing our newly designed labs with its creamy white goodness. Oh, come on, man. But with space sciences, we are now able to unlock all the good techs that Nauvis has to offer, setting up a Corvex reprocessing and at long last obtaining heat exchangers, allowing the construction of a true endgame power plant, producing over 1.7 gigawatts of power, burning the nuclear fuel that we set up earlier. These biters are really starting to test my patience. After all the space sciences have been completed, we saddle up a new ship to begin making the journey to the other planets of the system. Since the possibility of getting soft-locked on another planet is very real, we load up everything we possibly can to ensure we have enough supplies to handle any roadblocks. And of course, as per tradition, tab out and look at memes while I wait for the rocket to load.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Your home security is great. Or is it?
It's been fun relearning Nauvis from the bottom up, but I'm excited to see what other strange and cringe things we're going to encounter and build on the other planets in the solar system.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told biter corpses are worth more than gold. Sold my lasers, bought me a bomb. Power of the sun right in my palm. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Nuclear fever spreading all around. With a rocket launcher in my hand, I'm gonna turn those biters into Trianite sand. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Well, I had a talk with the BUGs and they weren't that nice or good to me. And I found a spot that they all called home, so I shouldered my launcher and I aimed right at the dome. I reckon I fired about 100 shots, but no matter how hard they tried, I couldn't be caught. Then I had an idea that couldn't be topped. Right where they lie dead, I drew a big cock. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Nuclear fever spreading all around. With a rocket launcher in my hand, I'm gonna turn those biters into Trianite sand. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Well, I took my launcher and I started to hunt all those pesky darn critters too big to punt. A single rocket wouldn't make them shit. I didn't even try that hard to hit. On the second day, I headed out fast to turn those bugs into cobalt glass. The only beeping that I heard this way was the bots restocking my nukes today. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Nuclear fever spreading all around. With a rocket launcher in my hand, I'm gonna turn those biters into Trianite sand. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Well, I pack up my things and head out again into some unknown place where those bugs have been. I reach the spot where those fuckers lie, and you find it's been nuked 17 other times. Well, I ain't kidding, I ain't gonna quit. Those bugs can't catch me and I'm done with their shit. So with a rocket launcher in my hand, I'll keep turning those bugs into Trianite sand. Nuclear fever has done and got me down. Nuclear fever spreading all around. With a rocket launcher in my hand, I'm gonna turn those biters into Trianite sand. Nuclear fever has done and got me down.
With the base's final expansion and cleansing complete, we now take a parting look at the Nauvis base and look over all that we've accomplished one last time. And then, at long last, we depart for the much, much worse hell that awaits us in the Factorio Space Age Ultimate Randomizer.
Sir, target confirmed. It's the very dangerous escapee from the asylum. Shall we fire upon the vessel?
No, our weapons would be ineffective against the orb of meat.
But sir, we can't let him get away.
Silence! I'll get him. I'll get that orb of meat if my name is it.